to go over how I went from over 200 pounds to wearing a bikini with confidence in just 4 months. Post-baby, by the way, right after having a baby. So let's go into how I went from 200 pounds to wearing a bikini with confidence in under 4 months. And there's a beautiful story that can represent this today. And it starts in a forest. So there was this forest and there was this man who wanted to go enjoy a nice brisk walk. So he went out to this forest and he starts looking around and he notices all the beautiful trees and all the beautiful flowers. And then he spots one tree with something on it. There's something kind of hanging off of it. And he's like, what's that? So he walks up to this tree and he notices that it's actually a cocoon hanging off of it. It's a cocoon that a caterpillar makes to transform into a butterfly. So this man sees this cocoon and all of a sudden he sees it moving. It starts moving and he's like, oh, butterfly's ready to emerge. Time to come out. And so he's sitting there waiting, like anticipating, exciting. He can't wait to see a butterfly emerge for the first time, a brand new butterfly. So he's sitting there, he's waiting. Nothing's happening. The cocoon's still moving. Nothing's happening. No butterflies coming out. And he sits and he waits patiently and he's like, okay, maybe the butterfly's just having a hard time. Let's give it some space. Nothing happens. And he waits and he gets impatient. So he says, maybe I should help. Maybe the butterfly's having a hard time. So he goes over to the cocoon, he grabs it gently and he opens it just a little bit, just like a little hole, so that the butterfly can peek through. And see, the butterfly then peeks his head through and he can see it's this beautiful monarch butterfly. And then he can kind of peek and see at the back of the cocoon, it looks like his wings are really small and shriveled almost. And so he's getting a little worried. I don't know if this butterfly is going to make it. It doesn't look like he has the right, tools, attachments. And so this butterfly peeked his head through this hole. And then he starts to rip the hole open a little bit. And he was ready to fly, and the butterfly leapt off of the cocoon. But the man was right. His wings weren't strong enough. And the butterfly fell to the ground, and it died. And the man was so disappointed, and he couldn't understand what was wrong with the butterfly. Little did the man know that it is the process of breaking open the cocoon and pushing against the walls of the cocoon that is the thing that actually strengthens the butterfly's wings, so that by the time it actually bursts a hole through the cocoon, it has the strength to fly. Unknowingly, the man killed the butterfly because he didn't let it struggle. You see, this is a perfect metaphor for life. It is through the struggle in which we get strengthened. How often do we know this, but forget about it in the moment? When we persevere, when we push through, when we face the struggles, when we push ourselves to work through the struggles, go through them, we come out stronger on the other end. Every time. Every time. But if we try to skip that struggle, if a man rips a hole in a cocoon, then we are missing the gift that is struggle. We are missing the gift that lies on the other end of overcoming a hardship. The lesson it teaches us, the person it turns us into, the strength that it now has given us. You see, I started dieting when I was 10 years old. I remember walking in New Orleans down the street and my tummy was showing. I was like 10. My tummy was showing. And for a second, I thought I was cool. I thought I was like Britney Spears at the time. But then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, but Britney Spears has a flat tummy. I don't. And I pulled my shirt down. At 10 years old, I was starting to do this already. And then I started dieting from there, trying different things, just hyper focusing on food and my body and my appearance. And I took this with me as a teenager, as a young adult, and now as the adult that I am. And all of these diets that I tried over 2 decades of struggling and frustrating, all of these diets just left me frustrated. And they were full of struggle. Struggle that, if we listen to the butterfly story, was supposed to strengthen me, right? But at the time, I just couldn't figure out what was going on. I thought something was wrong with me. I didn't understand why, I could be really good during the week and then I would blow up on the weekends, right? My husband, oh my gosh, he was like the worst saboteur. I would watch a movie with him at nighttime to chill out, to unwind, and then he pulls out the snacks. He pulls out his sour candy. He pulls out his cookies. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stop, right? He'd offer me some. He's just being nice, and I would go crazy. I would eat an entire row of Oreos. And I'd feel disgusting, like I wanted to throw up. And I'd go to bed feeling uncomfortable and bloated and gassy. And I'd get mad at my husband when he was just being nice. And I started to kind of resent the people in my life because I was having such a hard time and I was getting snippy and I was getting impatient and I wasn't as kind of a person as I wanted to be because I was just struggling so much and I had so much frustration and I was trying to make my weight loss work and I was trying to get healthy. I was trying to be a better me. I was actually trying. So what gives? And I couldn't figure out what was going on. The people in my life, they saw me fluctuate in my weight so much. Like I would go up and down and up and down and up and down. Like every time I saw them, I'd be a different weight. And my closet was just crazy. There was no organization to my closet because I had clothes of all different sizes. I had really small me clothes. Then I had clothes that I could wear after a crazy vacation weekend. And then I had clothes of me when I let myself go. And then I have clothes of when I'm feeling gross and want to hide my body. I'd have clothes of like stretchy clothes when I knew I was going to go out and eat and wanted space in my pants. Like I had so many different sizes from literally probably size 2 to size 16 I had in my closet. And I didn't get rid of any of them because I never knew that I could actually fix it. I thought I was like perpetually stuck in this fluctuation. So I needed clothes for all of these body types that I just could not control. And at the time, it just seemed like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. At the time, it just felt like a roller coaster I was never going to be able to step off of. And it was just going to kind of be chance with what body I ended up with this month or this year, But now that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and I did make it through, and I lost my 80 pounds, and I created the Tremere method, I can look back at every single struggle that I went through, and I smile. Because if I did not go through that heartache, if I did not go through that pain, I would not have created my company. I would not have found the Tremere method. And I would not be standing here today talking to you. And I wouldn't be able to help and impact the lives of thousands. So I will take the arrows in my back. I will take the slip-ups, the failures, the nights I spent crying. I will take it. If it meant I was able to help you. And so, slipping up, messing up, having all these failures and struggles, it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's not a sign that you should pivot and change. It's not a sign that there's something wrong with you. It's just a test from the universe saying, how badly do you want this? Prove it to me. And then I'll give you a gift at the other side. I'll reward you for your determination, for your focus, for your never giving up attitude. I call it your follow-through muscle. You got to strengthen your follow-through muscle somehow. No one gets strong from sitting on a couch, No one writes a book by thinking about it. That's just not how it works. And if this is true, which I've tested it millions of times, this is very true. If I were to tell you, you are 10 failures away from your dream body and a transformation you've never imagined. 10 failures away. And then tomorrow you fail. How excited and happy would you be that you failed? Because that means you're only 9 more away. And we look at it like that. Can you see how this journey becomes a game? And it's fun and it's enjoyable and you don't talk yourself out of it? And that way you never have to wait for the right time. You never have to wait to have enough money. You never have to wait to fix your metabolism, to level out your hormones. You're not too old to make a change. Can you imagine? When we switch that and we look at it like that, and we let ourselves strengthen our wings instead of trying to find a shortcut to fly faster. When we strengthen our wings, we can fly stronger, we can fly longer, we can fly and go see more beautiful things. If we give ourselves the space to strengthen first, and we keep trying to fast track that part. We keep trying to avoid that part. And this was just like one of my ladies, Nancy. Nancy was in one of our one-on-one coaching programs, and she came to us with binge eating problems. She really struggled. She would just go crazy at nighttime. She would just like eat because she had spent years restricting herself so that when she saw food that she wanted and knew was like quote unquote bad food, she just couldn't help herself because in her mind, she would say, I'm never going to get this again. I have to eat it all now, right? Maybe you're familiar with that kind of mindset. So she was really struggling. So we built her out a really simple, sustainable plan, and we released her from restriction. We said, you can eat whatever you want. You just got to stop eating when you're full. And then we practice and we practice and we practice. And before you knew it, she stopped binging. Before you knew it, she could enjoy all the foods that she loved. And she lost over 40 pounds. Actually, I think she lost over 50 pounds. She lost over 50 pounds. And most importantly, she gained complete mental freedom. She no longer felt a slave to food. She no longer was thinking, I can't wait to eat this. Oh, I shouldn't have ate that. Oh, how do I make up for this? I gotta go for an extra run tomorrow. I gotta starve myself tomorrow. She had complete food freedom. She could show up and be better at her job, get a promotion. She could show up and be a better mom because she was more present and not focusing on the failures, not harping on the failures, not feeling pity for herself for being stuck and struggling. She realized, and we taught her through practice, that we're strengthening your wings right now so that when you're ready, you're going to fly and emerge, and it's going to be better than you can imagine if you just enjoy the phase that you are in and stop rushing through the phases. Now, you can rush results because there's nothing wrong with fast results. It's exciting and it's motivating. But we don't rush the season that you're in, and we don't rush the lesson that you have been missing this whole time. So pay attention. If you've been failing in the same way, if you've been feeling the same way about your journey for a while, the universe is trying to help you and teach you a lesson. You haven't been listening completely. What have you been trying to be told? What have you been trying to be taught? What is the universe trying to get through and kind of shaking you and trying to bang your head against the wall to understand? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Because that is what this challenge is about. That is what your whole journey is about. It's about progression, not perfection. You are human. You will never be perfect. It is not about avoiding failure. It is about making failures smaller, getting back on track faster, and not judging yourself for it or beating yourself up for it. Okay? It's like, going to a hairdresser and your hairdresser sneezes and accidentally cuts off a little too much hair. You're not going to be like, oh crap, okay, shave my head. That's just not what's going to happen. You can still have a beautiful, nice haircut. Just like if you slip up, if you're not perfect, you can still have a beautiful, wonderful, fast transformation. And you're on track for that. So thank you for tuning in to another motivational talk by Maddie. Please comment your takeaways down below. You are worthy. You can do this. You are a butterfly who is strengthening her wings right now, and she's almost ready to fly. Don't cut yourself short of that experience and all the amazing things that you're going to learn to level you up. Okay? Put yourself first, era. Lead by example, era. Prove yourself, prove them wrong, era. Never give up, era. Go crush your trim, era. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you got any value at all, I'd love it if you left a 5-star review to help more women find this podcast and get the support that they need. And if you're looking to speed up your weight loss and take your transformation to the next level, then head on over to Trimera.com. TRIMMERA.com. I'll catch you on the next episode, and welcome to your trim era.